All right, what's up, everybody? We're filming together again, trying to make this a weekend thing. We're talking NFL draft. We got the combine right around the corner. So why wouldn't we talk NFL draft, Chris? It just makes sense. And the Detroit Lions have found themselves in a position where their roster is more complete than ever before, but there's still some glaring needs. So let me ask all of you first watching, what is the Lions' biggest need this offseason? How should they address it? Is it edge? Should you do it through the draft? Are you more of a proven talent person through free agency? Or do you trust the process with Brad Holmes? And Chris, I'm going to ask you the same question, but a little bit different. What is the number one position of need for the Detroit Lions this upcoming season?
Well, I think that's the good news in this video is that we found that it's edge, and we're not the only ones that think that, but that there's real mock drafts that are showing we can get a really good edge late in the first round. And I think that's huge because this is our new reality, drafting in the end of the first round, which is great. And I think we're going to be here for a long time, and we're going to be even on a bad, like, I just don't see us winning 3 games, anytime soon. We're going to be end of the first round for a long time. And so you start to wonder what's available there. And this article shows there's some good talent at the end of the first round.
There's some good talent. And the article that you're referring to, The Athletic, starts coming out early on, and they do this multiple times. They do their beat writer NFL draft. So basically, the beat writers step in for every NFL team, and they act as the GM, which I would love to do, right? Like that it seems like a lot of fun. So you get trades, you get all that kind of stuff. But Colton Pouncey is the beat writer for our Detroit Lions, and this is who he drafted. All right, Donovan Ezeraku. All right. I believe that's how it's pronounced because that's what I saw. Let's get our pictures back in there. Not that the people need to see us. All right. But it's Donovan Ezeraku. Chris, I'm going to put this away real quick. Do you know how many sacks Mr. Ezeraku had this year?
No.
Any guess?
No.
Slightly productive.
12.
Yeah. 12 would be good in college football, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Like, that's a high number. 16 and a half.
Okay. Love it.
16 and a half sacks. He's not like the largest human on earth, right? He's running in at 250 pounds. He doesn't seem to have the greatest burst. Honestly, what I see from a guy in Ezeraku is a guy who is just technically very sound. I saw him use his hands. I saw him bend around the edge. I saw him use a spin move. You know who he actually kind of reminds me of?
Hutch.
Yeah. Like, he doesn't just wow you, but he just keeps getting to the quarterback.
Okay.
Just keeps getting to the quarterback. Is this the kind of guy that you want? Are you more of the big bodied edge? Like, what's your preference on defensive edge?
Well, I always think, to me, every defensive end is going to be outstanding, and they're just going to be awesome. And, because every defensive end comes out of the SEC, they're 6'5", 260, and it's just like, oh, how could you not be great? But I think I liked Marcus Davenport type. That was just going to be big. And I guess I'd prefer that. But I think a lot of them are more the athletic, true rush ends. And I think we need that. But it's like, man, you can't have it all, right? Because I do think that looks cool. But then, man, you get run at and all that. So I would rather have a big body, really push the pocket guy, honestly. Okay. And that's why Hutch is so special. He's both. And there's only, it's him, Myles Garrett, there's 6 of them in the whole NFL. So it's like, all right, I guess I'm good either way, but it's like, we just need to get an influx of youth and the defensive end spot would be really helpful.
We need to get an influx of youth at the defensive end spot. And also, there's no position, obviously other than quarterback, but there's no position on the free agent market that's more expensive than edge.
Yeah.
Like, to get a really good quality edge rusher, you're spending 15, 20, $25 million in the open market. So I also think it's one of the hardest positions to judge in the draft. So that's why they pay Brad Holmes the big bucks, right? So here's what I want to do. I want to look at a mock draft that we've set up. It's a 3-round mock draft. It's 3 picks in that. All right. We have we have just honestly a couple more here. So let's go ahead and let's look at this. And this might have only done 2 round, which is fine. But here's the edge rushers that are available to us. These are the edge rushers available to us with our pick. A
Okay.
bunch of them had already gone off the board. All
Yep.
right.
Yep.
Nick Scroton is one that I think, and Shamar Stewart. That's kind of what you look for in an edge rusher. It's that big
Yeah.
bodied, and I don't understand why they'd have the Texans taken that, but I do to an extent. So usually we're hoping that one of those guys is available, but our guy, Azaraku, is still here. Now,
Yep.
you have Landon Jackson right behind him. He's more of that, he's productive, right? His pass rush win rate is not good. That would be it, but this is more of your big bodied 6'7, 280, 6'7. Do you think he has long arms by any chance?
Jeez. Love it. Love it.
Um,
Yep.
so here's the question I have for you. Is it that, or do any of these guys stick out to you? Do any
No,
of
I
these
like
guys stick out to you at edge? Because there is one that sticks out to me a little bit if we
um
think we can do it better.
no, I like Ezraku or the guy you just pulled up as well. Nobody else jumps out at me as much. How about you?
All right, so there's one that jumps out at me. It's Darius Alexander.
Okay.
He's a defensive, he's an interior. He played at Toledo, right? Which is like, what is that?
What is
But
that?
he was phenomenal at the Senior Bowl. Just, I mean, he turned heads. And so I think a lot of people are kind of putting him like, oh, could he be the next defensive interior where you are both a good pass rusher and run defender?
Yep.
But for the sake of this, let's just go edge. Let's go Ezaraku, right?
Let me
Because
show you real quick on that. Real
yeah,
quick. Your guy.
yeah.
Look at this dude. Just okay. He's just yeah, okay. Okay.
You found him.
Yeah, just
You telling me I should have drafted him?
probably.
Probably should have drafted him.
Wow. Because I think that gets lost in this is that we don't really have, and I'll stop it here. We don't really have the D tackle depth that I don't know what we have there because Onwuzurike and Pascal aren't really D tackles. Aleem McNeil's going to be out for. I mean, we need to figure that out.
He's
I
going to
would
be out. He's going to be out
the
for a while, and he's
majority of
not
the year.
going to be himself for a while after that.
Yeah, so he might lose. Like worst case scenario, he could lose this whole year. So anyway, we can get back to this, but I don't think you're crazy to look at the D tackle position either. I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, and here's the thing: if we did go D tackle, here's where I'm kind of at with it. If we had gone D tackle and this was the thing, Josiah Stewart would still be sitting at edge.
He's better than as Michigan fans and watching every game. It's like, you know what, he's pretty good. And
He is.
It took me a long time to really be like, yeah, you know what, he is good.
Yeah, the difference with him, and you'd think he'd be older. I mean, he's about the same size and measurables
Oh yeah.
as the other guy. And so you look at him, he's done well. He has continued to create. Edge defenders coming out of Michigan are traditionally good players. They
Yep.
really, really are. So I would have been very happy going Alexander and then Josiah Stewart, if I'm going to be completely honest. So,
Love
but
it.
here's what I'm going to do. Are you ready for this?
Yep.
I'm doubling down.
Yep. Do it.
We have struggled so long to get an edge. We have struggled so long to get an edge, and they gave us a B there. All right, that I think it is not out of the cards to just say, hey, let's get a couple of them, right?
Yeah.
And let's go get an interior defensive lineman, because I will say D tackles do take a second usually to develop.
Yep.
Just because of the pure strength that's needed to play on the interior in the NFL.
Love
I mean, just pure strength. So I think I get what you're saying with a guy with Aleem McNeil coming back later, but I think a guy coming out of the MAC might not have the physical chops just yet.
it.
I mean, he
Right.
might. I've just like, there's
I
no
hate it.
way his strength and conditioning coach was as good as if he went to U of M, right? Or if he went to Alabama or whatever that looks like. So, yeah, I don't have any problem, though, doubling up on defensive line. Do you?
Nope. Not at all. So that's interesting. And so all of a sudden, like you said, we've got really good players at the end of the first round
Yes.
that we saw there. And then yeah, we can double up. There's just Brad Holmes is just not afraid to do something like that. Like it wouldn't be shocking at all.
He's done it before.
Yep.
It was
Yep.
his very first draft. He went Anuzarike in the second and Lee McNeil in the third.
Yep. I love
He
it.
doubled up. Like, no big deal. Let's do it. So I don't know. I still think here's the beautiful thing. It's weird and we have to adjust, and we can get out of here in a second. We have to adjust our brains that we're going to be picking at the end of the first round and at the end of every round. But how nice is it to just not have holes everywhere?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I
And
would be fine and our offense would be fine if we didn't draft one player on it.
oh yeah, it's
Not one. I mean, I do think we need a third receiver. But
yep.
if we didn't
and
draft one player,
and,
our
and that's
offense would be totally
what's
fine.
and but free agency will address basically all the holes. You know, we'll go into
Yeah.
this draft with 0 holes, and then draft best player available, which I don't which I just drives me nuts, but it is the right thing to do. But it's
It
like,
is.
do we need like Sion Vaki last year? It's like, really? Is he the best? Is that what do we need a 4th RB right now?
I know.
Anyway, yeah, I
Do
just
we need a fourth RB right now? But here's what I will say, and I'm glad you said that, actually, because right now, Brad Holmes has got to draft for next year and the year after and the year after that, because we are not going to have the salary cap flexibility that we have right now.
yep.
We still have some salary cap flexibility right now. You can go in free agency for this year if you want, but the draft has to be for upcoming years. And then if one of those guys contributes, it'll be even better. And I actually did a video on this, Chris, with our rookies last year, our draft class of 2024. That was unusually not productive their rookie year for Brad
Mm,
Holmes draft class. I think those guys are going to make big impacts, especially our DBs. I think there's going to be some guys that Christian Mahogany. I think you're going to see Vaki get a little more run. Giovanni Manu, not this year, but next year is going to start playing well. Maybe even replace Decker in a year, right? Like, or two. So those are still there, and that's what you need to do. That's how you use the draft. That's how good teams use the NFL draft.
love it. Okay.
Cool.
Love it.
I don't know. We're still talking. Let's get out of here. I'll see you later.
Okay. See ya.
Bye.